And it's a very good morning from me and from the gorgeous sunshine that has greeted us yet again today. I got in my car about 7:30 a.m, quite late, but 22 degrees in my car, in the shade my car was. I appreciate today is going to be uber warm. Good morning, Susan. Donna even, not Susan. I need to read better, don't I? Hi, Donna. I'm hoping that you're not sleep deprived as my poor little body is. We're in a townhouse and the top floor is the hottest floor, but that's where our bed is. And despite a fan being on all night, a Dyson fan that's a super duper Dyson fan, it still was too hot really to rest properly. Anyway, I jabber on. Good morning, Tom. We're going to have a warm-up workout type exercise. We're already warm, so the warm-up's already in place. I've decided to try and keep it a little bit more generalist, get a bit of flow around the body so that the hot blood already in you and the tiredness already in your brain isn't overly exacerbated by my demands of you. Good morning, Sarah Hossack and Sarah Butler. Great to see you in the room. I will take account for the heat. I'm not that cruel a woman. It will be gentle and flowing activity. Diane, hello there. So we're a hot group, very hot today. Some of you might just decide to watch and drink water with icing. Whichever way, when we do the workout today, do not do anything that creates pain anywhere in the lower back. I was using the booty band, and you need to know, the glute band, I've done my warm-up with it, as in the exercises to open with, and I thought, no, this is insane. Put that band away, Tanya Loxham. Don't be so stupid. So we're doing it just with our bodies, and there'll be moments where you'll find you're staying for longer because I want us to do some stretching, okay? So we'll get that kind of mobilised, stabilised. Tom's already hot. Janet Booth's in the room. Are you hot? This group is so hot. Tom's now interacting, so I'll explain to those that have just wandered into the room. It is too hot to do anything silly, but heat to our benefit. If we get ourselves mobilised, squats will be your general mobiliser. We'll get the hips open, doing a little bit of side movement, and then we'll end up very swiftly onto all fours. Not for very long, I won't make your whole plank. But whatever you are going to do today with me will honour the heat in your body that already exists and not overstress the brain and the sizzling moment that the heat brings to the mind. Good morning, Lindsay. Let's keep it cool. We will. And Anne Barron, yes, present with very little sleep. Snap. It's not been a night to sleep. I said to Tom last night, we were still outside in our back garden, which is rare at 9 a.m, 9 p.m. even. And I didn't want to go in the house. I said, can we sleep outside? He said, no. There you go. He didn't let me. Hello, Claire. Hello, Margaret. Morning to a sleepy, tired out, heat, overly heated people group. Lorna, hello, you're back into the room. If you're just wandering in, it's going to be generalist, taking account for the heat that's in the air, the heat that's in our bodies. You will be doing general exercise patternings without it being too intense, followed by abdominals, a bit of mobilising through the spine, and then into some deeper stretches intermingled with the movement patterns. If anything feels too much, stop, just watch it. You know, there's many other videos you can do when it's cold again. Good morning, Susan, and I think we should get going. Have water at the ready, stop if you don't feel good, and take responsibility for your own well-being. All right. And your position can be in parallel. It doesn't matter whether you've got the mat facing you. Just make sure you can see the screen. Have your arms set backwards. You understand that to squat like this is actually in everyone's best interest. Remember that actually, if you're doing workouts with us, Chris Haynes, good morning. I don't think I've seen you on this before. If you're doing workouts, then you may want to have it that you use the roller. You know that we've done lots of squats using the roller giving you the chance to create symmetry. I'm going to slow this down. I've just taken my inhaler, so I go a bit weird. Inhaling, down you go, and exhaling. Settling together into this routine. Breathing in to hinge and squat, breathing out to stand. The arms reaching backwards, keep the upper body area, the shoulder stabilizers, involved in your movement pattern and away from the COVID stoop. All right, the next time you go down, stay. Staying down there, allow your arms to hang. With your arms hanging, then a huge inhale. Breathing out, the chin goes to the throat. The rib cage bends over
And you follow the breath out, down into your forwards bend. With your head hanging, legs bent, exhale and straighten the legs behind you, inhale and bend. So on the breath out, you've got the lengthening into the hamstring, without force I might add, bath gate. You find, feel, notice the intensity. It has to be equal both sides. Your feet have to be level. You've got another 3 of these, unless your head's rushing. Another 2. On this one, keep the legs bent, put the hands back onto your thighs, pull your shoulder blades and return your spine upwards by rolling from the pelvic bones, as we've learnt to do, all the way up and. Now roll your shoulders and roll to tiptoes and lower back down. Inhaling, exhale, shoulder roll and lowering down. Combining therefore the ankle rolls and lowers, the ankle lifts and shoulder rolls. You've got 4 more. You're here now focusing on the balance to move through the whole of the foot, and if you can do this and talk, then you're doing really well. Obviously ankle rolling requires great stability and the mind focused and not overly tired. From heat, you've got another 2. Are you ready? Make it a good one. Another one, growing tall, rolling the shoulders, rolling the ankles, and stay. Okay, we're going to go back to your squats. So I'm going to change my shape for you. Back into your squats. Now if you want to, reach your arms up and then reach them behind, or reach them behind and flow them up. I can't emphasize that if your back is an issue, keep it simple so that you don't go to the wrong places in the trunk. The arms can go backwards there, and as you're standing up, they can reach up to this strength line. Going back, using your shoulder stabilizers to reach them back, take them up and take the breath now so that it's vigorously, deeply in and out. You've got 2 more. Backwards you go, inhaling. Notice the asymmetry. I can feel myself wriggling all over the place. Don't really know why that is, but it's definitely happening. Next time you're up there, you'll stay up there. Keep your right arm up in the air and bring your left arm down. Soften off at the knees. Bend to your side, exhaling. And inhale, come back up. Don't let the hips move. You know the rules. Over you go sideways, inhaling and back up. Now I'm going to go to this side, staying on the same side. I'm simply going to turn my head and my armpit, have a look down at the floor in front of my toes, take the body back again, and I'm going to come up. You're going to go to the other side. Exhale, find your armpits and down you flow. Inhaling and back up you go. Down you reach, sides, resisting twist. If it's in your neck or shoulder, take your hand either here or take it here. The side bend with your arm up in the air has to honour no pinching in what we call the rotator joint area of the shoulder. All right, the next time you go, stay. Even if you're here, here or here, you will turn the armpits. These are your first mobilising moments. Breathe deeply in. I'm looking down at my toes. And I come back up, and now take it one side and rotate. Inhaling back up, other side, exhale, inhale, rotate. Make the breathing deep, find your center, then find your side bend, then the influence into a tiny bit of rotation. The pelvic position we know stays true, side, rotate, back to your side and leave that alone. We'll take the legs a little bit wider, and on this one the feet stay relatively parallel. Your aim would be to take one arm up and forwards as you go down and pull it back again, feeding off the previous activity. If that's too intense, I'm going to suggest you have one arm going back and then arms come to the side, one arm going back, the other arm forwards and to the side. And sometimes, in fact, I'm going to suggest that's better for everyone. When the body uses a reach in one direction and a reach in the other, the brain makes more sense of it. Use your breathing and feel the shoulder through the upper back, pulling you backwards and stabilising with your arm that goes forwards. Go back to breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Finish the breath off, finish the stand. Inhaling.
I wouldn't move my arms until I've already started flexing at the hips. So you start the hip flex, and then you add that influence of the upper body. Again, this is mobilising the shoulder. Inhaling. Exhaling. Good morning, Sarah Round. I've just seen you're in the room. Inhaling and... People, stay down here and allow your arms, think of Mr. Flumpy, think marshmallow-like thoughts, as you allow a gentle easing of the breathing in. I'm not forcing my arms are more relaxed, the elbows are released, and it all feels really quite nice. The inhaling and exhaling as we make the lengthened breath relate to the easing up and down. You're gently springing, there's no bracing, and it feels pleasant, doesn't it? Maybe it doesn't. All right, people, the next time, ease down, let your arms hang. The chin to the throat, check. Breathing out, bend until you end up with the floor, and the hands are on the floor, and the hands are as wide as your feet are. Exhaling, pull belly to spine, stretch the legs, inhale and bend. Press the ground away with your heels and your hands. Push. Keep going for 4 and 3. 2 more. And with this last one, with bent legs, stay, tuck your bottom under and find your form. And you end up rolling through the shoulders and you're back at home. We'll go to some turnout. Let's get back to tiptoe. So you'll find that the workout I'm doing with you is very much waking up everything that makes up your stabilised body. The postural stability system, sides, front, back, it's largely a global moment just now. What you're seeing is the bigger muscles coming to life and reminded of their function. The function being flexion through the hip with the back of the thigh, front of the thigh, stabilising through the whole rib cage to pelvis with your breathing muscles, intra-abdominals and internal external obliques. And if you're managing those things, you're doing grand. When you pull your knees open, appeal to the outsides of your feet and towards your little toe. Again, don't worry about getting hot. Getting hot is good, okay? It is only going to get hotter and hotter today. But if indeed when you're doing it you feel a little bit faint, then that's the time to go, oh, just a minute. This is too intense blood flow, and you'll go and cool off. Otherwise, we've got another one of these, and we'll stay down here in this plie version of a squat. Once again, breathe deeply in and out. Allow your arms. I'm going to do the same type of ease. Start it slowly. Because the turnout positions are a wee bit more complex, and the chance for people to tuck their bums under inappropriately, NB, Diane, Margaret, Thomas, no tucking under, although Sarah Butler, you can pelvic tilt on this one because you're naturally lordotic. Our aim is to keep the load and the demand into the sides of your bottom, into your legs generally, and the arms are monitoring the breath, that sense of just freedom through the shoulder, breathing deeply in and out. Yes, you're getting hot because your big muscles are moving your body. What happens? All right, people, and allow that to settle down. Put both hands to the outsides of your knees. Breathing out then, pelvic tilt, and then follow through the tilt into complete rolling all the way up until you find yourself stood. Exhaling then, bend the knees and pick up your heels. Inhale and lower. Make your arms into Cossack if you want as you squeeze through the heels up and down. Breathe. Heels stay up. Your pelvis stays level. It's a small range of movement and the thigh bones stay in their lateral position, in other words turn out, and the side of your bottom, the glute med muscle, works really hard. All right, keep the legs straight now and go up, keeping the heels together, and down. I need to have my feet a little bit closer. Up you go and down. Pull up through the zipping it in the thigh, pelvic floor, up and down, breathing and lowering. Someone's watching us, hi Lindsay, on a conference call. Well done, Lindsay. Have a look at what we do. You can comment on how good we are as we lift and lower. It will be a pleasant workout for no matter what you are, how hot you are, but well done on trying anyone. We've got one more of these. Shrinking up
Inner thigh should be no daylight, says Tanya, and back down. Ready now for a move that's kind of harder to do. You're going to step, bend that leg, she says, drop to the floor. That wasn't the move. I said it was harder to do, and come back. Then you're going to step and come back. So you step away, and the leg that steps away bends, and the leg that comes back, woo! I told you I've had no sleep. It's showing. Come back together. All right, I'm going to go again. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Yesterday in the bar work, I did this strong point ascent, okay, and the return. And really this feeds into the ability to do that move at the bar. As you can see, it does require some stability. Good morning, Gemma. I'm clearly, you know when you're really tired, your mind finds it harder to focus and your balance deteriorates. I've never had a problem doing this and yet I find myself wanting to fall over. Here we go, come on people, I apologise for my ramblings, but do you get the feel of pulling the ground under you? You land it, pull the ground under you. Land it, push the ground away and pull your legs together. Down and pull. Down and pull. You're landing and bending the leg you land on, and then you're pulling the legs together in your turn out. You're turned out here and you're pulling your legs together. Turned out, pull your legs together. Last time, turning out and pull your legs together. Can't believe how bad that was. We're going to do another roll down stretch. So find the plie, that's your hips backwards. I've sat my bottom away from my knees, they backwards angled squat. Exhaling then, not the chin. And forwards roll your spine down. We've got our final stretch sequence here. Breathe out, press your hands to the floor and stretch the legs straight. Pushing down in your heels and your hands. Remembering that this will mobilise, stabilise, lengthen out everything, hamstring and calves. Nothing in the lumbar spine feeling anything because your bend is rib cage to belly button, not lower back, is it? All right, people, 2 more. Last one. And then bend your legs. Place your hands to the sides of your thighs, press down onto your heels, and then tuck your bottom under and stand yourself up. Good morning, Gemma. We're going to stand at the bottom of your mat. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you do plank. You're ready now for a little bit of floor works, but we're going to do the full roll down. To safely do full roll down, have a little bit of a bend at the knee so your influences angles correctly at the joints. Allow your shoulders to relax. Breathe deeply in. Breathing out the chin to the chest. Breathe in. Breathing out, the rib cage folds in half and you can see the body bending as if over a beach ball. So you haven't collapsed onto your thighs. Stay breathing and then find the position that takes you onto your kneeling position. Staying on hands and knees then. The biggest workload we're going to do for your arms is simply supportive work just here. Straight into Superman. I'll set you up slowly. You take your right leg and the big toe touches the floor and stays without resting. You take your left arm and let the big toe come off the floor. So that's your position. Breathe in. Breathing out, slowly return the arm and the leg. Breathe in to change. Breathe out, set the leg first. Know where the floor is. Let your arm go. Breathe in and breathing out, ready to change. Inhale is the switch, exhale is the reach. I use the corners of the mat as my reference point, or the ends of the mat, thinking of my fingertips pointing down to one end and my big toe to the other. This is a mobiliser, stabiliser. The pelvic and rib cage has to stabilise, whilst your thighs within your pelvis are creating an element of mobility. 4 breath pattern. Exhaling is the move out, inhaling is the stay. Exhale is return back to all fours, inhaling to switch. Breathing out is the moving away. Breathing in, you stay. Breathe out, you pull those limbs back. Breathing in to switch. One more. take it away and pull it back. Ready from here then, reach the hands so they're no longer under your shoulders. Breathe to pull the body down and backwards, but keep your nose pointing to the end of the mat between the thumbs. Big breath in. Exhale to pull yourself back, tuck your bottom under, and come forwards in the direction of chest between the thumbs. It's like a mini three-quarter plank. Breathe in. Breathe out. Tuck your bottom under, but don't let the bottom go to the heels. Do drop your chest down the moment you can. Pull against your shoulder, stabilise this armpit as you shrink the tongue, and an element of flexion, and then into the extension here as you allow the upper back to respond and the stabilisers to work. And we go again. It's a glide slide activity. Your armpit glides you forwards and you slide and you end up wherever you can get to here without it being into your lumbar. To go back, the exhale, shrink the tongue. Your pelvic tilt leads you to a relatively straight spine as you end up like so. Okay people, from this moment here then, slide the hands, tuck the bottom under, and you end up on your kneeling stretch. Thigh bones are parallel, knees are level with each other, arms are reaching behind you. Nod the chin in. Good morning, Rachel. We're going to lean back towards the toes and forwards. When I did this in the last couple of days with the roller against the thighs, it's a much better symmetry than it is without. So even on myself, with my kind of tuned in mind body, I know that if anything, one side rotates away. So please use the roller at home for things like this, because that will chase away the asymmetry that will always inherently try and come back into your form. We've got just 2 more of these. The quads are lengthening, the pelvic floor is drawing up, the pubis feels very much as though it's working up under the belly button. Last time. And the breathing's incredibly rhythmical. From that position there, you take yourself onto your seated area. So sitting up and sitting up really tall. Nothing, I hope, so far has felt too demanding. Your lines matter. In other words, heels are very level with the end of the mat, assuming the end of your mat isn't unlevel. Your arms are reaching here and you're having a huge breath in. We have our spine stretched forwards. Breathe out to pull your rib cage in half and reach your arms beyond your toes. I'm asking you to stay here, breathing in and out. Force the air across your upper back and force the air out to shrink your navel away from your clothing. Really shrink, because the more you shrink, the more space reappears into the spine. Last time, breathe, shrink, and let your arms come out, sideways T-shape. Take them behind and just stay with the fingertips connecting either edge of the mat because you've got your symmetry. Now allow the chest, the cleavage, the sternum to reach for the sky. Keep your shoulders away from the neck. Keep breathing. Now you're breathing into the upper part of your chest area and breathing out from the belly the same. Your shoulder blades are squeezing tight together. Inhaling and exhaling. Your legs are strong. Your pelvic floor, your oblique area knows where it belongs. Okay, and then we're going to 5 times go into your forward stretch with a huge exhale, into your extended stretch with a huge in-breath. Breathing out. Breathing in. Your biggest stabilizing moment is the feel for both sit bones staying equality under both sitting bones, okay? If you're doing the breath, then your body will naturally find its good form. Last time. And slide your legs up so that they're bent. We will roll backwards and forwards because that's the best way of mobilizing you from the lumbar into the mid to lower thoracic. Breath in to prepare. Exhaling, roll off your sit bones. Tap the floor with both hands, check the thigh bones are level. Inhale and come back again. Breathe out, a gentle rolling rhythm that originates with the obliques, because the breath out will help you roll pelvic floor oblique. If you're rolling all over the place, it's indicative of your pelvis not being particularly true. So if I gave you some feedback about me, yesterday I was incredibly aligned, I could do this without thinking really, whereas today, for whatever reason, I'm bobbling all over the place, but I'm not going to let it continue like that. Just be aware of it in your own body, people. Your body is never the same from one day to the next. The gentle rowing action, it is like rowing, isn't it? Imagine you're on the sea, we wish, rolling and returning. If it's in the wrong place, in other words, your lower back, or so groiny that it's horrible, then desist and lie on your back. The next time we come up, I'm going to take you into a roll and a touch. And reverse. Now you're lying one side. Again, there is nothing really intense in this. If you've been doing your homework and you're following our videos daily, even 3 times a week, then all of these movement patterns become increasingly accessible, irrespective of your posture type. And as long as you're breathing deeply in and out, you can't go far wrong. People, this is the last one to each side. You touch. That lovely rhythm of rolling through the hip bones, through the pelvic floor, and stay. I'm going to sit my bottom closer to my knees, have my feet really level, and put my hands behind my thighs to take myself all the way down, lying on my back. Once you're lying on your back, get the heels very level with each other, kneecaps level. We'll go straight to your bridge position. Have your hands reaching, big breath in, pull your inner thighs so close together you feel you have one leg. On the breathing out, find your pelvic floor and don't grip your bottoms. By all means, pull the inner thighs together, shrink between the hip bones. Breathe in just there, in that pelvic tilt, flexion of the lumbar. Exhaling, squeezing through the inner thighs, not the bottoms. Roll the position of the spine back into its neutral shape. Inhaling, you're back to your natural curves. Breath out, pelvic floor, pelvic curl, and picking up, because the hamstrings get involved. Your inner thighs are tight together. You're inhaling, and down you go. We're going to add some shoulder work. So inhaling, you're at the base. Breath out, diligent pelvic floor. Navel to spine. And as you come all the way up, you can take your arms, open up the chest, have a breath in, pull those thighs tight together. Exhaling, if you're comfortable to leave your arms in shoulder open, upper back length, then do so, and then flow them forwards again once you're back down. Check you've got equal load through the hips. Exhaling, roll. Inhale to expand the upper thoracic area. Keep the neck lengthened. Exhaling, inner thighs are tight, and the rib cage, middle back rolls down, and you flow back with your arms. 2 more. Inhaling, rolling, and inhaling. Everything on the floor, and exhaling. Reverse and lengthen the spine as you lay it down, and flow your arms forwards. We have 1 more. Big breath in. Find your heels. Push through the heels. Find the connection through your hamstrings. Enjoy the moment here for a while. Staying there, if you can take your arms further back, then do so. Breathing in and out, whilst maintaining a pelvic tilt, a shrinkage going on through the obliques, the inner thighs tight together, the heels pushing to get your hamstrings continuously involved in the movement control. And finally, next breath out, ribs. Leave your arms for as long as you can, creating that stretch through a part of the body you need. Okay, you're going to pull your arms back. You're going to keep the hands by the sides of your thighs. Everyone on the next breath out, pelvic tilt. Find the imprint and then curl up. Stretch your right leg away and leave it there. And then inhale, down you go. Keep the right leg hovering. Exhale, curl. If you want to put your right hand under your skull, then do so. One arm therefore reaching down the left hand side of the body, which is the left bent leg. The lowering down phase, not quite going to the floor, and the breath out, getting you to work through the oblique area. You can pull your elbow head arm in the direction of the leg that's straight. The leg that's straight is hovering the floor. You're working for length of the hip flexor and strength of the hip flexor to quad. Exhale, inhale. This area in your mid shrinks away from the clothing. Your foot that's of the left leg bent feels very, very connected to the ground. You're not just hovering it. Last time, curl and stay. Now breathe out, pull that leg up to the height of the other knee. Breathe in, point the toe and lower it down. You're staying curled. Exhale to lift the leg. You'll feel the oblique connection, the lower bikini area of your abdominals. You've just got 2 more. 1 more. And let that leg stay down. Leave your bent leg as is and roll in the direction. I'm pulling my bent leg over my straight leg and then look away. So I'm now looking to my left, but I've rolled over to my right. I've let my left leg that is bent roll over my right leg and I'm getting a stretch. You're rolling to the point where your shoulders can stay on the floor. Your breath in and out is crucial to make sense of the position. And if it's in your sacrum, you've gone too far, so just ease off a tad and do more of the thigh bone gently pulling against almost the inner thigh of the other leg. Keep the breath going, 2 more breaths. 1 more, and then roll yourself back. Pull both knees in. Exhale to curl up to make sure we're centered. Pull both legs in again before we do the other side. This is your symmetry moment. Curled up, shoulders away from the neck, elbows are in. Breathe out and stretch away. Just keeping a lumbar to lower back position. Inhale back again. Exhale, we're only going to do 4 more of these. Your reasoning for doing this is that the middle to lower back, having done rotation and single side activity, needs to remain true. Exhale. Crown of the head to the ceiling. Inhale, the knees come in, the elbows bend. Exhale, and then pulling your knees in. Place your feet down. Put your left hand under your head and stretch out your left leg so it's hovering. This hand is here. Do you remember what we do? We breathe out and curl. No twists, says Tanya as she sees a twist. Exhaling and inhaling back down. The back of your pelvis should be true, left to right, posterior positioning. Curl. I never quite go down, so I'm keeping some tension on the top end oblique. Leg that's on the floor, I'm pressing down with my right heel as I push away with my left leg. The quads on my left hand side definitely know they're activated, and the hip flexor on my left hand side is having to work in an open, lengthened position. You have 2 more. You have 1 more. And now, breathe out, let that leg lift. Inhale and reach it away, pointing the toe. Exhaling, let it lift. Inhale, lower it down. So point and flex at will, but get the demand of the weight of your leg to land in your trunk. If it hasn't, you've lost the imprint of your actual spine in connection with the mat behind you. And only the breathing out and the keeping of the rib cage into flexion will achieve that. Okay, this is your last one. Leave that leg down and roll down. You're now going to take your hand and allow the posture to roll away, but keep your shoulders on the floor. You'll find one side happier than the other. So this is the right hand side, if you're doing it the way I'm doing it. And usually we're more mobile on the right hand side. I feel complete release of this when I do this side, and my leg goes much further than the other side. Whichever way, you're breathing deeply in and out to, it's like WD-40 going through your system. If you're not breathing, you're not really getting that. In this deep heat, these positions are wonderful. Okay, people, and exhale and roll back and have both legs bent again. With both legs bent, glance up to make sure you are as you believe you should be, which is symmetrically aligned. And now place your left ankle onto your right thigh. Check the pelvis has stayed level and then pull those legs up. Either hold your ankle and your knee, or hold onto the thigh that is the supportive leg in this relationship of a stretch. It's very easy to roll. Just stay in this position and breathe, inhaling and exhaling. If you want to add a bit of a push of the hand against your left hand thigh bone, then you can. If it's enough as it is, then that too is good. You're going to do a couple more breaths here. Now, the leg that's got its ankle onto your thigh, so your left leg, just cross it right over now. All I've done is slide it into a cross leg. My left leg is crossed over my right leg. Take both hands to your shins and then pull in deeper, pulling your left leg further away, as it were, from the seat area. Add the breath. The only sense you get here is side bottom stretching. There should be no shearing forces whatsoever. It is a pleasant moment in theory, okay? You're breathing deeply in and out. And then unravel the legs and place your feet down. We're going to the other side. Side of your right ankle onto your left thigh. Check. Exhale with as much symmetry as you can. Pull that position off the ground. Ease this thigh bone away from the bottom of the pelvis, the ribs, keeping the left leg lifted. If you find it easier to hold onto your thigh, then that's fine. Whichever way, the sense of lengthening out and stretching comes all the way through your side bottom, and the breathing of the body, the back of you wants to stay true from left to right. It's so easy in this position actually to twist the hips, but that's life. We're not going to twist our hips if we can help it. As long as you're getting the feeling of all of this being lengthened, like plasticine just giving a little bit softer, then you're doing all the right things. You must need to breathe. People, we're going to switch now by pulling the leg right across the other leg. You still keep the sense of it being the right hand side of you, and then if you can, you'll pull your shins to you, and that will amplify, increase the length and the depth of reaching into your glute med and other abductor muscles that you're maybe not aware of. But it feels pleasant. Few people dislike this. Make sure you don't damage the knee joint. You can't be pulling against the knee. You're pulling either on the shin or the quad area, the thigh bone, to get the increase of length. Okay, last time, breathing deeply in and out. You're going to pull the knees back to the chest and send your right leg to the sky. Take your hands to that right leg. Once you're holding it, the left leg goes to the ground, or whichever leg you've taken, doesn't really matter. Whichever leg is in the air, the other leg is flat to the ground and energized. Draw this leg over, reach one hand to the side, take your hand to the other side of the leg, and your position gives you what we call a neural stretch. It involves nerves, muscles, fascia, as well as obviously the bones, getting a stretchy out sense of the joint. This position here is really quite intense. You breathe deeply in and out and open it out again. You're now going to do the opposite. You're going to allow it to go sideways so it reaches over. I've got quite a good range of movement, so I'm more likely to go further than maybe you thought was relevant. Whatever you can get, it's giving you an adductor stretch, your inner thigh. Keep breathing, relax your shoulders, breathe, 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 and then pull that leg back. From that position, pull the knee into the chest, and then place the foot to the floor. Your other leg's going to go up to the sky, your pelvis is level, and you're going to gently hold it. If for you have to have a bent leg, that's grand, as long as you're getting your hamstrings. You'll then send your other leg away. The leg is strong, long and reaching, putting you into a neutral pelvis. We go back to this position here, where you have one arm out reaching, and you pull the leg over the midline of your body as it were. It's pulling over towards the straight leg that's on the ground. Mine's my left leg to the ground, my right leg in the air. I'm breathing, breathing length, breathing space, breathing enjoyment into my form, okay? Slowly pull that leg back. You now take other arm out sideways, and this leg can reach out as far as you want it to go without rolling the hips. You're opening through the adductors, If your hips started to lift and you've gone too far, you simply need the adductors working really, really wide open. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And slowly pull the knee into your chest. Roll over. Our final stretches are going to be more groiny, quaddy. It's the final two positions, just because of time. Have that kneeling lunge forwards. And once you're there, get your thigh bone. So can you see thigh bone to thigh bone? It doesn't matter which is your front or back leg. It matters more that you're in your splits in the thigh bone position. If you want to let the kneeling leg behind you go to flat foot, that's fine. Whichever way, breathe, and I'm allowing you to sink. You're sinking because you're getting an open stretch through hamstring and quads. Keep breathing in and out. Now tuck the foot under on that back leg and push yourself into more of a deep lunge. Lift your chest up now as you stretch without twisting. I'm just checking my hips haven't twisted. I'm pushing the ground away with my feet, both feet, and I'm keeping my right hip bone lined up with my left. It wants to just twist. I'm not going to let it because I'm a disciplined Pilates teacher. Okay, breath in and out, in and out, in and out. My chest is relatively lifted. I'm using the ground to help that. And then allow that leg to go back. As that leg goes down, flex at your ankle on the front leg and start drawing the bottom back towards your other heel, and you're into your hamstring stretch. Don't close the knee joint if it's too intense, but feel a little bit more give into the calf muscle and the hamstring on this side. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Bend your leg to kneel back down and find your other leg to find your other side of the stretch. Ideally, your heel doesn't want to be too far under your knee joint. And the leg, make sure I'm on the mat ready for part two, the thigh bones are separated out as far as they will go left to right. The lower back has nothing to do with this. I'm in my natural curve of my lordosis. I'm certainly not tucked under, and no one should be. And the deep stretch coming all the way through the fascia and the fibres and the tendons, everything that's connected here is being benefited from the shape that I'm in. My shape looks like this because this is my range of motion around my hip. I feel the tension of all the fibres being asked to lengthen. The breathing hydrates, WD-40 is the moment, and I'm allowing my chest to almost add its load to this front leg, which allows my hip to stretch more thoroughly. I'm breathing deeply in and out, enjoying the moment. Keep breathing, 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 breathing. Enjoy the heat. And now take the foot, tuck it under, and you're in your split. The thing to watch here, as I said on the other side, is make sure your hip bone does not articulate backwards. If you can see my strong straight lines, there's a long diagonal line from my back ankle through to the centre of the hip, through to my armpit. There's nothing bent or weird about this, but I'm breathing to let the heat act on my form. Keep my hips mobile, strong, supple. I'm breathing and breathing and breathing. I'll then lower that back knee down. I pull the toe to the sky on that front leg and start the journey of this is starting to stretch, but I'm encouraging you to pull yourself back till you can go as far as you're comfortable with your knee joint into a stretch where, imagine you're a hurdler. You that's the hurdling position. It's not quite, but it nearly is. You get the idea. Breathe. My calf muscle's getting a long, long stretch. I'm pulling my toes to my nose physically with my hands. And then I'm going to bring myself up and out. We'll do a final hip opener because you're in such flexion one side then the other. So your final hip opener, big breath in. Get everything activated, pelvic floor, navel to spine, and lean back. Put both hands to the heels and extend the hip, the chest. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Return back again, and there you have it. Well done, everyone, myself included. We've just done a workout on one of the hottest days of the year, hottest couple of days of the year.
Hopefully you enjoyed the benefit of the deeper stretches. The movement patterns for everything I felt were very, very moderated, but should have given you the benefit of going into your day feeling a little bit more, yeah, I've done my exercise, I feel nice and mobile. Maybe you now need to go on a 10-mile run. I don't know. Some of you are like that, and that's grand. All I can say is tomorrow is Tom and Tanya time, and we look forward to that before there is then a big break of at least a week, certainly a week off, where I'll be transitioning everything from this studio ready for a studio that opens, and also better online service for the people amongst us who are going to stay using the online service or staying shielding at home, whichever way. It's been a good time. I'm glad you could join the room, however hot it was, and I'll see you soon. I'll come to say properly goodbye as I switch you